Whoa. Why y'all so happy?
You don't know? Sharvette Mitchell is on the radio.
It's time to get motivated, excited, and influenced. Why? It's the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, live from Richmond, Virginia. And now, here to motivate, excite, and influence you, Sharvette Mitchell.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. That's right, broadcasting from the capital city of Richmond, Virginia, but heard all across the World Wide Web. How you guys doing today? OMG, I am so excited to have you here joining us. Listen, I'm telling you, I'm so hyped. I am so hyped about this show. You know, the goal of my show is to motivate, excite, and influence, and I guarantee you that we're going to do just that today. Listen, my first guest is hanging out here. We've been chatting it up in the green room, having a good time. Cora Jakes Coleman is hanging out with us. Listen, she's a wife. She's a mom. She is the daughter of world-renowned pastor, Bishop T.D. Jakes and First Lady Sarita Jakes. Oh, my goodness. And she is here to talk to us today. And listen, in our second segment, we're excited because we have best-selling author, inspirational speaker, and poet, Dyonteniece Rice. I just like saying that, Dyonteniece Rice. Don't that sound rich? Yes. So you want to hear from her in our second segment. So this is what I need you to do. I need you to jump on Twitter. I need you to jump on Facebook. I need you to jump on Instagram. Tell people what you're listening to, that you are listening to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. So again, I think we want to roll right on into our first segment because we are ready to get it started. Again, I'm really honored to have Cora Jakes Coleman joining us, this young woman of God who has a testimony. And listen, I am throwing in, the bio doesn't have this, but I'm throwing in, she is a prayer warrior. If you have seen any videos on YouTube just going viral about this lady, this young lady's prayer life, I'm telling you, you know what I'm talking about. So I'm bringing up to the mic right now. Coming up to the mic right now, Cora, hello.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
I am wonderful. So excited to chat with you.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm honored.
Wonderful. So listen, I said a little bit earlier before we came on air that you messed me up because I went to your Instagram and saw you just leaked a quick video about something that you're going to drop tomorrow on your Facebook. Can we know anything about it? But I understand if you don't want to share right now.
I'll give you just a quick hint. It's happened before. And people have been requesting this video to be leaked. And so I'm finally leaking it after, it's been a few months now.
Oh, okay. There you go, listeners. Whetting your appetite there. Okay, awesome. And so I have seen you on Instagram, and I've become an Instagram person, and I noticed that you like to cook. Have you always been a cook or always liked to cook?
Absolutely not. No. When I started dating my now husband, his mother is a culinary chef, and so when you are dating someone who is used to eating, you kind of have to figure out how to work out in the kitchen. So I started looking up recipes and watching the Food Network, and it's kind of in my blood. My dad cooks, my mom cooks, my sister cooks. If you ask them now, they would tell you they would never think I would be in the kitchen, but it just became a kind of a love and a joy of mine, and I'm hoping to open up a restaurant within a skating rink probably towards the end of this year, if not early next.
Oh, wow. What a great idea. Because the skating rink, you can come and hang out, and there has really been a revival of skating in the 80s parties and all that good stuff.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, we will keep our eye out on you for that. And so talking about social media, do you feel like you are a social media person? Is that a way that you kind of keep up with what's going on in the world and with your friends?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that we in the world have become a social media. So it's a great way for us to be able to communicate with people that we're not necessarily able to get close to. And with my sister, she just moved to California with her husband now, Pastor Torrey Roberts of the One Church in California. And so being able to just see their pictures and still be able to connect with her and see my nieces and nephews and things of that nature is really great. And then I'm just a nosy person. So I like looking at people's pictures and reading comments and different things like that, trying to stay abreast with everything that's going on in our world today.
Wonderful. Do you feel like people, when they're on social media and they're following you, do you feel like they know you, like they really know you?
I try to make an effort to be as reachable as possible to everyone who's following me. If you notice, I always try to comment back to people who comment on my pictures or my videos or anything that I put on my status. I always try to make sure that I message people back when they message me so that I can be really personable. I share pictures of my babies on there. I share videos on there. I really try to give people an insight to who I am as a person. Of course, you won't be able to know everything about me, but I think that as far as social media goes, I go to the highest extent to be able to make myself reachable.
Wow, you certainly don't have to do that. So I think that is really appreciated by those that just kind of, we all kind of like to just peer into other people's worlds, and I think social media allows us to do that. And then the other thing is that social media gives an opportunity for people to comment. So I just walked over to your Facebook page, and I'm going to put this person on blast, Trenton Blake Lloyd, and he posted about... He posted on your page about 5 hours ago, and I don't know what went down, but this is what he put. He put, Cora Jakes Coleman made me lose my gangster this morning and has provoked a 28-year-old crying man. Not cool. I'm positive she's one of our generation's greatest generals. She walks in the atmosphere, shifts and responds, I'm simply grateful. Okay, time to man back up. So what provoked that post?
Well, actually, Trent is one of my big brothers, one of my big spiritual brothers, and we were just having a conversation because this Saturday I will be with him at the gathering this Saturday in Arlington off of 611 North Houston Street. And we're going to get our generation together and kind of have a panel discussion about some real situations and subjects that are going on in our world today. And so when I was talking to him about it, I just began to kind of minister to him and prophesy to him on different things that he had been really searching for answers for from God. And so we just kind of had a moment together where he was able to really see the promises of God manifesting before him through what I was saying. And so it kind of just took him off guard a bit.
Wow, that's wonderful. So, and he was willing to be transparent and put it on blast, put himself on blast on social media. So, thank you, Trenton. Thank you. Wonderful. Hey there, if you just tuned in, you're checking out the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. We see you coming in on the phone lines, those coming in from Twitter, from Facebook, from Instagram, from Sharvette.com, from our mobile app. We say hey there, and certainly all of our broadcast stations. We're glad to have you here, and we're in our featured interview spotlight chatting it up with Cora Jakes Coleman. All right, so Cora, I know a lot of our listeners that are tuning in are wondering what is it like to be the daughter of such a powerful person such as Bishop Jakes. How do you respond to that listener?
Well, I get that question more often than not. And so for me, well, to you all, he's Bishop Jakes. But to me, he's Daddy Bear. And so we grew up with a normal as we could, given the circumstances. We grew up with a normal life. We had chores. We had to fold our laundry and make our beds. And when Daddy came home, we were really excited to see him, and we understood that he was also a gift to the world. And so we learned very early how to share and how to support and how to push. And so I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to call such a great man of God for our nations and for all the generations my dad. But to me, he is simply that, my dad. It's just like you would have any other relationship with your father. He's my father. He covers me when I'm scared. He wipes my tears away when I'm crying. He makes my dreams come true when I can't. He's my dad.
All right. Awesome. Big shout out to Bishop T.D. Jakes and certainly your mom as well, First Lady Sarita Jakes. And the whole family. We love her. All right. So speaking of that, actually, there was a video that I say just went viral, the 2015 Women Thou Art Loose conference, where you opened up. You were on the stage with your mom and your sister, and you did the opening prayer, and it was like, OMG. It was so anointed, so powerful. So that's why I threw prayer warrior, prayer intercessor into your into my introduction. How has prayer played a part in a role in your life?
I've always been a faither, and that's kind of my term where we become fighters with our faith. And so I understand that if I am a true faither, then I have to have a real communication and relationship with God that surpasses the things that I'm embarrassed to share. And so I've always had a real relationship with God whereby I can tell him absolutely anything, and I can tell him when he's upset me, and I can tell him when I'm sad and when I'm happy and when I'm scared, and I become intimately involved with God so that he can become intimately involved with me. So when I pray, it is not me standing before the people, but it is God standing before the people, using me as an open vessel and a willing vessel to bring forth whatever it is he would have me to say to the people. And so ever since I was a little girl, I always understood that we have the power to manifest the things that we desire through both our relationship and realness with God, but also through the fact that if we are truly connected to him, then we are able to bring forth creation because we are connected to the Creator. And so when I'm praying, that's the mindset that I am in, being able to manifest the things that I'm saying according to God's perfect will and anointing that is within me so that I can produce and shift people into a different dimension and mindset in their life to be able to receive God in a new way.
Wow. I just want to say Selah right there. Wow. And you really, and you are so, and all of that wisdom, and you're a young lady. You're not even, you're a young lady and have such wisdom with that. So thank you for representing our generation and having that type of voice that our generation, I'm a little bit over that generation, but with the generation that your generation, you speak with wisdom and power. So I'd love for you to share your personal testimony with our listeners. I jumped over, and this was what really provoked the interview request when I've been following you on Instagram, went over to your blog, and so I'd love for you to share your personal testimony.
Well, I can give you a little bit of snippets because I'm coming out with a book, and so
okay.
But I'll touch on a little bit of it. At a very early age, I was diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome, which can make it very difficult for you to try to conceive a child. And so I went through the battle of trying to conceive a promise that God had spoke over my life when I was 10 years old. And I am still currently in that battle. But in the journey of the battle, God has blessed me with a beautiful adopted daughter. Her name is Amari, and she is the absolute world. But she is also a great challenge for mommy. She's 6 years old going on 10, and so she is a handful, but I've also been given the honor to help support my god sister in raising my godson, Jason, and he's 7 months old, and he is just the light of the world. And so in these gifts, I've learned that even though I may be going through the battle, it does not eliminate my ability to receive a blessing. And so I stand in the blessing, understanding that if I can focus on the perspective that God still gives to me, even though I am battling and warring on one side, God is still opening doors and blessing me on the other side, then I'm able to truly believe God for what he said he's going to do. And if God's word cannot come back void, then I have to understand I don't need to fight for what he's already spoke over me. I just need to wait for it to manifest.
Amen. And we believe God with you. We believe God with you. So thank you. Certainly, again, not something you had to share, but one thing I picked up was that you were looking, for information and support around this in your age bracket, and it wasn't there. And so you're stepping in saying, okay, this is a gap in our community, in our world, and I want to help fill it. So we will be on the lookout for that book. We'll be on the lookout. And we'll have to have you back.
Yes, please do. So I started fertilityfaith.com with the hope that I'd be able to give a voice to the young women who are battling infertility, but to also encourage older women to keep for their promise. I think that when God doesn't give us something within the timeline that we're looking for, we can kind of get discouraged. But I wanted to bring encouragement to say, if God promised you a thing, then you are just waiting for that thing to come forth. But you also have to understand that the power to manifest that thing is resting on the inside of you. So fertilityfaith.com was not just about infertility as it pertains to women trying to conceive, but it was infertility as it pertains to our inability to produce a thing. And so whatever it is that you're looking to produce from God, whether it be a purpose, a promise, power, whatever it is you're looking for, if you are unable to produce it because of your fear of what it may look like or the success of it or even the failure of it, then you remain infertile. And so my goal is to bring forth fertility faith towards every thing that we're trying to.
Wow. Okay. We got it. Broaden your horizon, expansion around that. And then you also certainly have a theme around purpose and bringing purpose back to life. I saw you do a couple tweets about that earlier today. Talk a little bit about that purpose piece.
Yes. It's very interesting because to me, I have figured out that our promise, our purpose, and our passion are all uniquely linked. And so it goes back to what I was saying a little bit earlier, that being infertile, meaning the inability to produce because of our fear, my goal is to bring purpose back to life, because oftentimes we can stand in a dead field and become comfortable being in toxic environments. And when we are in toxic environments, we cannot bring forth healthy seeds. And so your purpose is something that God has spoken over you. It is a healthy seed that he has planted within you. But if you are not able to pull yourself out of a dead space, then you can't bring forth a God seed. And so you have to have a good environment in order for God to bring his seed forth. And so I am bringing purpose back to life, meaning get out of the dead place and come forth so that you can have the power to manifest the life within your purpose.
Whoa. Okay, y'all need to tweet that. Y'all need to Facebook that. If you can't pull yourself out of a dead place, you can't bring forth a God seed. And give Cora Jakes Coleman the credit on that. Please, please. Cora, while they're listening, tell them how they can follow you and connect on all that, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff.
Absolutely. I'm on Twitter as C. Jakes Coleman. That is Jakes. Not Jake, but it's C.J. Coleman on Twitter. On Instagram, I'm Mrs. Cora Jakes Coleman, as well as Facebook. I am Mrs. Cora Jakes Coleman and on Facebook, and I have a public figure page, which is where I'll be releasing the video tomorrow, and that is Cora Jakes Coleman, the public figure page. So you can connect with me on all of those, and I also have an email, corajakescoleman@gmail.com. So those are all of my connects. Please, it's not about me. I don't want to start a ministry where I am seen. I want to start a movement where we as people can come together and get behind bringing everyone's purpose back to life. CJC is not a ministry. It's a movement. And so please connect with me and let's begin this movement and support each other instead of bullying each other and suppressing each other.
Absolutely. And I think bullying, sometimes we just think about those that are teens and school age groups, but bullying now, social media has benefits, and then there are also some things that it's negative where people feel bullied on social media. So let's be supportive of one another. Have you seen that? Have you experienced that?
Absolutely. I've seen it and experienced it on both ends, but I'll tell you what helps me a lot, and it's still helping me, is when my father spoke about instinct, and he talked about we as people being giraffes, and so we eat on the level of our vision. Therefore, our necks, a giraffe's neck is too long to bend down to a turtle. And so giraffes do not even respond to turtles. They do not even look down to turtles. They eat at the level of their vision. And so I understood that the people who are commenting or have negative things to say about me, my delete button works very well for turtles, and my block button works very well for turtles. And so
hallelujah.
I stopped responding to turtles, giving them a reaction, because just as the enemy, all he needs is you to react to what he is presenting to let him know that it is working. And so if you do not react to the enemy, if you resist the enemy, he will flee, and that works with every enemy. So I'm learning every day to resist the distractions that the enemy is bringing forth in order for me to be able to come forth as the person that God's called me to be.
Yes, I love it. The delete button works fine. The blog button works fine. And you got to see yourself as that giraffe and not as these little turtles.
Yep.
You got to see it. You got to see it. And that helps all of us. That helps all of us listeners. All right, good wisdom nuggets there. Good advice, practical advice there from Cora Jakes Coleman. Okay, so for those that are listening in, the goal of my show is to motivate, excite, and influence. And we want to know what continues to motivate you.
God. I am motivated by God because I allow him to motivate me. And by that I mean, if I become consumed of the world, then the world will be my motivation. But if I become consumed with God, then he motivates me and I'm able to bring forth my message. And so I continue to be pushed and motivated and molded according to God's will for me instead of the world's idea of what they think I should be. And so I am motivated daily by God, and then I am pushed and comforted and covered by the surroundings of the people around me. And so my circle may be big for some, but it is small for me because my circle matches where God is taking me. And so if I have a big circle, I have a big blessing, I have a big message. And so I'm motivated by God and covered by my circle.
Wow. All right, listeners, there you have it. You heard it here live from Cora Jakes Coleman. Well, we're going to keep our eye out on you for all that you are doing. And again, that prayer, that praying, that you have the anointing to do that. And listeners, if you are over on Sharvette.com, my blog article about Cora, there is another video that's not the woman I lose News is another one where she's praying down heaven. You can see a video there. If you're saying I want to hear her pray, you can do that at Sharvette.com. Find it out over there. Again, one more time, Cora, tell them how they can connect with you on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
On Twitter, I am C. Jakes Coleman. On Instagram, I am Mrs. Cora Jakes Coleman. And on Facebook, I am Cora Jakes Coleman and Mrs. Cora Jakes Coleman on Facebook. And you can also contact me or my staff at my email at corajakescoleman.com.
All right, there you have it, personal invitation. Well, Cora, again, thank you so much. It was such an honor just to have you on the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show.
Thank you so much for having me. God bless.
All right, blessings to you. All right, listeners, we're going to a quick commercial break, and then we're going to be back with our second segment with, oh my goodness, best-selling author, inspirational speaker, and poet Dyonteniece Rice. You don't want to go anywhere. We're going to be right back.
It's the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Sharvette will be back after this.
Spiritual Food for Thought, 31 inspirational quotes to jumpstart your day by LaTanya Boyd, consists of inspirational messages that offer daily words of empowerment, promote spiritual growth and development in the Lord Jesus Christ for your day-to-day living. Spiritual Food for Thought, 31 inspirational quotes to jumpstart your day. Available now on Kindle, ebook, and paperback. Log on to www.latboyd.com.
Hello, we are 123jobzone.com, an online job search portal. We are user-friendly, and if you're searching for a job, with us, it's easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1. Go to www.123jobzone.com and register as a job seeker. Step 2. Once registered, upload your resumes. Step 3. Get connected with employers looking for people like you who are ready and willing to work. Don't forget to follow 123 Job Zone on Twitter and Facebook to find out more about our upcoming job fairs. What are you waiting for? Stop by 123jobzone.com today. Good luck with your job search.
Hello, everyone. My name is Cam Johnson, and I will be hosting a Sip and Meet on February the 7th, 2015, which is a Saturday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. at the Doubletree Hotel, Richmond, downtown. If you have questions on your mind, ladies, and you really want to know good answers, we're going to present these questions to our all-male panel. So, again, it is Saturday, February the 7th, 2015, 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. at the Doubletree Hotel, Richmond, downtown. I look forward to seeing you there. Check out Eventbrite for the ticket information to reserve your seating. Again, I look forward to seeing you. Take care.
Join us for the Community Social Economic Empowerment Summit, Saturday, January 24th, 2015, from 1 to 4 p.m. at First Union Baptist Church in Richmond, Virginia. Our mission, grow our businesses at church. Grow our church with member businesses. Empower our schools and communities. Recycle our dollars in our communities. Let's talk about it. Join us, small businesses and entrepreneurs, pastors and faith leaders, community activists, educators, and concerned citizens. We will see you at the Community Social Economic Empowerment Summit, Saturday, January 24th, 2015, from 1 to 4 p.m. at First Union Baptist Church in Richmond, Virginia. For more information, call Reverend G.C. Hedgepeth at 804-385-0101.
She's here to motivate, excite, and influence you. She's Sharvette Mitchell. It's the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show with in-depth interviews from today's leading authors, gospel artists, stars that you want to know about. And now, Sharvette Mitchell.
All right, welcome back again to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, broadcasting from the capital city of Richmond, Virginia, but heard all across the world wide web. We say big shout out to all those that are listening in on the phone lines that are coming in from Twitter and from Facebook and from Instagram and from Sharvette.com and from my mobile app and from all of our broadcast stations. We appreciate you here on the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. So wasn't it great? We kicked off the show with Cora Jakes Coleman. Beautiful spirit. Keep your eye out on her. I'm telling you, keep your eye on her. I promise you. All right, so listen, we're moving into our second segment with the best-selling author, inspirational speaker, and poet, Dyonteniece. I like saying that. Dyonteniece Rice. I'm telling you what, she is phenomenal. She says, I have come to realize that without God, I am nothing. My life in this world is meaningless if I don't have the presence of my Heavenly Father actively working in my life. And so I submit to God as I submit to my husband, and big shout out to her husband, and she's here to talk about her best-selling poetry, her book, Real Poetry, Raw Passion, Open Heart Surgery. She's on a blog tour, so I'm glad we were able to grab her on tour. And so we're going to the virtual green room. I know she's been hanging out there, and we're bringing her up to the mic now. We're excited to have on air with us now Dyonteniece. Welcome to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show.
Thank you very much. I'm so honored, and this is truly an amazing experience for me. So thank you very much for having me.
Oh, you are quite welcome. Excited to have you. So let's start here. Let's chat. Writing. How long have you been writing?
I've been writing since about early childhood, high school, even middle school, just times when I felt like I didn't have anyone to talk to, or I was scared to express myself to other people for fear of rejection. I just wrote in my diary.
Wow. So was it therapeutic?
Extremely therapeutic, because on the paper, I'm not judged. I'm not laughed at, not ridiculed. It's a time where I can actually be honest without any limitations holding me back from seeing the things I need to work on, from seeing a different perspective, and it's freeing, it's liberating. It's like it was my medicine. It was cleansing my soul, renewing my mind, and I honestly felt better each time I would write about whatever emotion I was experiencing.
And so were you writing poetry, or were you writing different things, or did it all start as poetry as well?
It didn't start out as poetry. First, it just came about, I was just doing daily journaling. My mom gave me a journal at an early age, so I was just writing down my thoughts, what I liked about my day, what made me upset, and then it just kind of transformed into poetry. I started taking a liking to it, was introduced to it at school, and I'm like, well, I think it'd be a cool idea just to give it a shot, to try. Maybe I can turn my writings into poetry, and that's where everything begun.
Wow, it all began. And I love your bio. Information says that this is really a God-inspired gift, and that this God-inspired gift of poetry is designed to cleanse, comfort, and cheer the soul. Wow, the 3 C's, cleanse, comfort, and cheer the soul. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, it's cleansing because a lot of times, well, for me personally, I was holding on to a lot of painful experiences, being frustrated from not being accepted from my peers, and just not understanding a lot of things about life, being a teenager and trying to fit in, and I needed an outlet. So when I wrote about those things, it made me feel comforted. It made me address what was going on inside of my heart that no one else saw, but I saw every day behind closed doors. So that was the cleansing part. It was comforting because I got a chance to really get to know myself. I didn't have to put on a facade or a fake mask with myself. Right. And that was comforting. I had to learn how to not do that, how to be completely honest and real with myself and real with God about everything A to Z. When I'm happy, if I felt depressed about something or angry or bitter, I just had to address those things. And it's also been cheerful because it was a time for me where I got to get rid of those toxic, painful emotions, and that does free up more space in my heart to be happy, to be joyful, to experience that abundant life that God already gave me, but it was clouded by fear. It was clouded by insecurity and self-doubt and manipulative thinking and not thinking I was good enough and not realizing the love that God has for me. So it was a process of restoration and then accepting myself the way that God accepts me.
Wow. And so I just had a light bulb moment while you were talking, and this is open heart surgery, so this is good. So with the heart, if someone is saying, well, I don't feel happy, I'm not happy, if there's other stuff there, the happiness can't get in. So if hatred and mean and mad is there, it can't. It's blocking the other stuff from coming in. Okay, I just had an aha moment. Listeners, I don't know if you had an aha moment there. So wow. And one of the missions that you have is really to empower women and being confident and to walk in their purpose, which ties into our first segment as well.
Mhm.
And so with that, do you find yourself speaking, like inspirational speaking, really to a lot of women's groups and women's conferences?
I do. I actually have an event coming up on February the 21st. It's the Pure Cool Poetic Transformation Youth Conference. Now, although it's a youth conference, there will be adult sessions there, and that's where I'll be speaking to the women that's there. It's in Missouri City, Texas at 1430 Texas Parkway. But it's just basically a time just to learn about poetry, but also learn how God can use different avenues to get his love to us, to get his joy, his peace, to build self-esteem and empowerment, and just to really, when we look in the mirror at ourselves, we see the good and the bad and the ugly.
Right.
God sees that every single day. And when God shines his face upon us and we allow him to restore us, to cleanse us, to comfort us, all of that is washed away. And it's like he gives us a new heart, a new purpose of trying to do better in life, of making adjustments, improving the weak areas that we struggle with, or maybe we struggle with walking in fear. Well, he wants us to walk in faith. So I find that being encouraging and inspiring women to forget those things that are behind them and press forward to the promises that God has for you. There's nothing can stop you then. You're unstoppable because you've had an open heart surgery. You've had a spiritual awakening to realize who you are, who God says you are, and what it is he has called you to do.
All right. And do you have any medical background? I'm just wanting to use that. You had this analogy of open heart surgery. I was just curious if you happen to have any medical background.
Well, the only medical background, I do have my CPR license. But
all right, and that's
formal
good.
Training. I'm a psychology background.
All right, but so that's God inspired, to really to see it in that manner, that this is, open heart surgery. And so the book talks about or reflects on different life stages, and it ranges a lot of different emotions. So what are some of the stages, or what are some of the things that the book kind of walks people through?
Well, some of the stages, I related the stages of the book to open heart surgery. There's the diagnosis. That's the first stage I talk about in the book. Before you can change, you have to be willing to admit what needs to be changed. You have to come to grips with your life, why you are the way you are. So for me, something that I had to come to grips with was my need to connect with other people in such a way that I valued their opinions over God's opinion of myself. I look to other people to esteem me, to make me feel good about myself, to get me happy and things like that. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to have friendships, but I didn't have a relationship with God. I knew God, but I didn't really grasp the concept of his undying, unfailing, unwavering love for me. I was so involved in people pleasing that I wasn't pleasing God. So the next section of the book is the procedure. It's getting everything out that is toxic, that's negative. For a long time, I struggled with low self-esteem and not really truly valuing the gift that's on the inside of me. And I say the gift that's on the inside of me because everything that God gives is a gift. You know, your smile, the way you talk to people, those are gifts, those are strengths.
Yeah.
But if you don't realize those things, you might think it's a weakness, or you might compare yourself to someone else and not really value yourself as being priceless and a valuable creation that God can work through and use because of those experiences. And I also find that a lot of times God uses the good things and the bad things to make a whole, complete, well-rounded person. So those times that I feel that I experienced rejection and discouragement and jealousy, all that's not going to be wasted. The times that I went through relationships where I was looking for love in all the wrong places instead of looking to God, God's still going to use that. So every experience that I faced of not knowing who my father was for a majority of my childhood, God is still going to use that. It's not going to be wasted. It's not in vain. And that brings me to the last section of the book where it's a new life being restored. And it's all of those steps that led me to being restored, to having my heart cleaned out and just manifesting the good that's now inside of my heart instead of the bad. Because I remember that Cora, she spoke a little bit on being connected to the Creator and being intimately involved with God and God being intimately involved with you. But if my heart is filled with jealousy and resentment and depression and negative thinking about myself, then how can God be intimate with me if I have all of that blocking my heart from receiving his love, from receiving the peace I need at night so I can sleep peacefully at night, so I don't have to worry about what people are going to say about me because my confidence is in God. He's the one who's going to fight my battles. I have to be willing and obedient to be just as faithful to God as he's been to me, even during the times that I didn't even know it.
Wow. And I am in agreement with that. I'm in agreement with that, with you on that. Listeners, you are listening in. Hey there, we see you coming in. We're talking about real poetry, raw passion, open heart surgery. You want to check it out by Dyonteniece Rice. Tell them how they can get a hold of it, get a copy, purchase it.
Well, the book is available on Amazon.com for paperback version and a Kindle copy. It's under Dyonteniece P. Rice, and that's, I'll spell my first name. It's D as in door, Y-O, N as in Nancy, T as in Tom, E as in Edward, N as in Nancy, I as in Igloo, E as in Edward, C as in Cat, E as in Edward, P as in Paul, Rice. And I also have a Facebook page under Dyonteniece P. Rice where I post other inspirational, motivational quotes and things of that nature.
All right, perfect. So listen, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then when we come back, I want to know, what does the late actor and comedian Robin Williams have to do with any inspiration related to this book? I want our listeners to hear about that. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to be right back, and you're going to hear some more about this. All right, we're going to be right back, listeners.
It's the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Sharvette will be back after this.
Join us for the Community Social Economic Empowerment Summit, Saturday, January 24th, 2015, from 1 to 4 p.m. at First Union Baptist Church in Richmond, Virginia. Our mission, grow our businesses at church. Grow our church with member businesses. Empower our schools and communities. Recycle our dollars in our communities. Let's talk about it. Join us, small businesses and entrepreneurs, pastors and faith leaders, community activists, educators, and concerned citizens. We will see you at the Community Social Economic Empowerment Summit, Saturday, January 24th, 2015, from 1 to 4 p.m. at First Union Baptist Church in Richmond, Virginia. For more information, call Reverend G.C. Hedgepath at 804-385-0101.
Does your church or ministry have a website? Are you a local artist or author that has an established web presence? If you answered no to any of these questions, you're letting countless opportunities pass you by. Hi, I'm Sharvette Mitchell. Mitchell Productions was created with your needs in mind. We will provide you with stylish and economical online marketing solutions. From email marketing to your own website, Mitchell Productions caters to ministries, nonprofits, small businesses, and special events. Check out our portfolio at mitchell-productions.com. In today's world, a website is not a luxury, it's a necessity. And Mitchell Productions can create your website in a stylish manner at a very economical price. Don't let business, customers, or new congregation members pass you by. Visit Mitchell Productions today at www.mitchell-productions.com. Let us showcase your organization to the world.
She's here to motivate, excite, and influence you. She's Sharvette Mitchell. Sharvette Mitchell. It's the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show with in-depth interviews from today's leading authors, gospel artists, stars that you want to know about. And now, Sharvette Mitchell.
All right, welcome back again to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Thank you so much for checking us out here. Yes, we're jumping right back on in. All right, in our interview here. So, great. So let us talk about Robin Williams. All right, so what does the late, great Robin Williams, what does he have to do with this?
Well, as you know, Robin Williams, he was a great actor, great comedian, and I loved watching all of his movies and things like that. He was inspirational to the book because I saw a segment where he was talking about an open heart surgery that he had on the Ellen show, and he basically just described it as something as being very vulnerable. They just crack you open and do what they need to do, and it's a scary time. It's frightening. And when you said open heart surgery, I'm like, wow. So he had a physical open heart surgery where everything appeared to be fine, but the condition of his heart was suffering and deteriorating. So on a spiritual aspect, that's what was going on with me. My spiritual heart was suffering. It was deteriorating. I didn't have the opportunity to realize sooner that me holding on to guilt from my past, from shame, and just a lot of negative experiences in my life, I didn't know how to let that go. So I held on to it. And as a woman, being women, that's generally what we tend to do. We try and do everything for everyone else, but when it comes to taking care of ourselves and taking care of the life that's actually inside of our heart, I kind of feel like, for me personally, I put that on the back burner.
Yeah.
So God allowed me to experience a spiritual open heart surgery to where he had to do a lot of reconstructing. He had to move some things around, take a lot of things out, and give me a total and complete new heart, one after his own heart. So where I look forward to seeing him and talking to him each day. I don't look forward to participating in negative conversations or where my perspective on life has changed because It's not distorted by my past. It's not distorted by what others have said about me or the negative thoughts I've said towards myself. I view myself the way God sees me, and that's where Robin Williams came into play with that, and I just totally related to it. Although I've never physically had an open heart surgery, spiritually I felt the same pain, frustration, turmoil, and had my own silent frustration while trying to live a life that looked like it was perfect.
Wow, so in the natural, so in the spirit. Oh, my goodness. And so I think it would be great if we could let listeners hear maybe some or one of the pieces that are within open heart surgery. Would you be willing to do that?
Yes. I do have a few. This first one is called Today's Love. It's your turn to love the spark in your eyes, the warmth in your smile that you freely give to each soul that is thirsting. It's your turn to love the humor in your heart that brightens the darkest of days and transforms the miserable moments into wonders of eternal wealth. It's your turn to love your distinct style that sets you apart from those near and far, yet brings you closer and closer into the true purpose of your creation.
I'm doing virtual snaps in the air. I feel like I'm in a jazz cafe, and we've got the open mic, and you just read on the mic. I'm doing the virtual snaps. All right, awesome. Do you have another piece you would like to share?
Yes, this one is entitled, Woman, Thou Art Extraordinaire. Woman, thou art extraordinaire, poised with physical and intellectual beauty, clothed with all spiritual strength, wisdom, and authority. God has truly smiled upon you, not just a woman, but also an authentic mother, cultivating the vast treasures from thy spiritual and natural womb. You are a unique gift designed by God, a vessel where his anointing and his kingdom resides. Mother, you are royalty and far precious than diamonds, delicate as a rose, yet strong as iron. You captivate God's attention with grace and dignity. Woman of worship and mother of melody song, how essential thou art. Mother of life, mother of love, truly you were sent from above.
Oh, wow. Snaps again in the air. Wonderful. Okay, so tell listeners one more time how they can pick up their own copy.
Yes, copies are available on Amazon.com under Dyonteniece P. Rice. That's D as in door, Y-O, N as in Nancy, T as in Tom, E as in Edward, N as in Nancy, I as in Igloo, E as in Edward, C as in Cat, E as in Edward, P as in Paul, last name Rice. Kindle versions are available, electronic copies as well as paperback.
All right, and if they want to connect with you on Twitter and any of your social media, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff.
Yes, I am on Twitter at Dyonteniece R. I am also on Instagram at Dyonteniece. I have a Facebook page and an author's page, and I can be found there at Dyonteniece P. Rice. And for any future bookings or press, please contact my fabulous and amazing publicist and PR person, LaTanya Boyd. She can be reached at faithinorder@yahoo.com. And she's also on Twitter at LATBOYB1.
Woohoo! We give a big shout out and round of applause for LaTanya Boyd, who is one of our show sponsors as well. So you heard her commercial earlier. Okay, perfect. And I've also tweeted, Instagram, and Facebook. So if you're following me or connected to me, that's an easy connection point. Twitter.com/Sharvette, Facebook.com/Sharvette, and Instagram Sharvette M. That's because somebody else already has Sharvette, but we'll talk about that another day. That's another show. All right, perfect. And so, as you know, you are an author, poet, speaker. Are there authors that you look up to? That any books on your nightstand that you're reading right now?
Yes, authors that I do look up to, of course, is the late Maya Angelou. Books that I am reading is by Dr. Miles Monroe, Understanding the Purpose and Power of Woman. And I also have a huge book collection from Bishop T.D. Jakes. I did attend his church throughout college at the University of North Texas from like 2002 to 2005, and Her Lady, Her Lover, and Lord, He Motions, Before You Do. I love to read. Any knowledge I can get that is uplifting, that will help me grow, I'm all for it.
Oh, wonderful. And they say those that are aspiring writers, aspiring authors, you should be reading. Like you should be reading, and that helps kind of hone your skills and all that good stuff. If there are those that are listening that are saying, wow, I want to write poetry, or I want to put, a book together. Because it's one thing, a lot of times when people write poetry, they have, notebooks all over the house, pieces of paper in the car. Like there's poetry everywhere. But to move to, okay, let me publish this. Any tips for those poets aspiring that are listening?
Yes, definitely. I would say definitely work on your manuscript. If you already have started writing something, just put everything together, whether that's a Word document and everything like that, and get you a publicist, a book publisher. I went through Tamika Hall with Tamika Inc., and she did my book cover design and did a great job. Someone who is skilled in their area of expertise, along with LaTanya Boyd. They basically have done so much in the publication process of this book, and it was easy. It was fast. I would say the thing that took the longest was the actual getting the content together, but as long as you have a notebook that you can write in, or even a computer that you're writing in daily, listen to some music for inspiration, take a walk outside, view nature. Nature talks to us about a lot of things, and you may be inspired by the sun or things that you like doing. But that's basically what I did, and don't give up on yourself no matter how long it takes. I've been writing since I was a little girl, and I'm now grown and married and just published this book. So if I can do it, you can do it. And it doesn't matter what you can. So you can do it.
You could do it. And big shout out from Facebook. Miss Patrick says, I'm so proud of you. I'm getting the book. So she just commented on our Facebook. Thank you for all the comments there. Big shout out to Trelyn Ussery from North Carolina, who saw an ad about today's show while she was playing a game on Facebook. And she said, I almost lost my mind. Thank you for your support of the show. We appreciate you. We appreciate you so much. So my last question for you. The goal of my show is to motivate, excite, and influence. What continues to motivate you?
What motivates me is that knowing that God has my best interests, like hands down. That what motivates me. So it doesn't matter whether I have dark days, cloudy days, whether there's days where everything just goes perfectly. Life is going to throw you curveballs, but we can still make it a home run. And just to know that I'm putting in the effort and I'm doing my part in becoming a better person, I already know God's going to do what he's going to do. That's what he does. He can't not do what he does. He's going to love me. He's going to provide. He can't deny himself. So what motivates me is that when God's working behind the scenes on the things I can't see, and the things I can see, what motivates me is like I have that backing and that support from heavens, literally. Everything is going to work out just fine. There's nothing impossible.
There you go, and it is a wrap, because when you got a backing from heaven, he is control, and he is in control and in charge of everything, and that's all that matters, and that's all we need to know. Isn't that right?
Yes, definitely.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, it has been great chatting with you and catching up about open heart surgery and just, having a chance for you to just share your heart.
Exactly. Thank you so much. I give all praise to God. Like I said, without him, I'm nothing, and it's truly because of him that I do this.
Wonderful. I am in agreement. I give him praise and honor as well. And we thank you so much for stopping by the show. All right, listeners, guess what? That is a wrap for today. Don't worry if you missed any portion of the show. It's available at Sharvette.com, or if you want to send friends there and say, hey, you missed today's show, you need to go check it out. They can go right to Sharvette.com. Until we meet again, peace and love.
Live from Richmond, Virginia, you have been listening to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Connect with her at Sharvette.com. And until next week, stay motivated, excited, and influenced. The Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Signing off.